The city of Kigali continues to develop and expand in housing. Statistics of the last 7 years shows that it was inhabited by 1.3 million people. The increase in population and various activities goes hand in hand with the increase of wastes that comes from residences as well as crowded places. At least 120 cubic meters of garbage is collected every day. Duva garbage dump usually composts waste, where biodegradable waste are turned into fertilizers. Plastics are sent to some of the factories for other use, which means that something else needs to be processed. Experts point out that 80% of the water used becomes waste and is sent to the pits and toilets. But this is also collected in the grounds and ends up going to rivers, as explained by environmental analysts.
There is need to have maybe a pre-treatment facility. Of course, it has been always recommended, emphasized by the Rwanda Environmental Management Authority, but it's now high time for people to be sensitized to do such kind of pre-treatment, so that by the time even the wastes are supposed to be disposed to the plant, they meet now the standard to be treated. Otherwise, if you bring things from industries that it cannot handle, then they end up finding their way into the environment. So there is that need of from our side, but also listening and getting to respond to the messages that are being provided.
It is intended to construct a plant in the city of Kigali in Masaka sector that will process toilet waste, which is typically not processed. This is supposedly a solution for the citizens of Kigali, who frequently struggle to dig new toilets when the others are already full and struggle to obtain land for all those activities in Kigali.
The factory will be appropriate because it is very necessary. Due to the fact that we have small land, we can't always afford to dig, and Kigali's land is expensive. It is very good to establish that factory, and it would also provide jobs.
The facility will have the ability to process 600 cubic meters of sewage per day, which may then be utilized for irrigation, and resulting fertilizer will be used in farming. The Ministry of Environment explains that there is no concern that the water coming from the plant will damage the Nyabarongo River because the factory will be built in its vicinity.
We plan that this project will solve existing problems. It may not be solved at 100%, but the sewage problem will be solved permanently.
The construction of this plant will last for 3 years and is part of the plan to share the benefits of Lake Victoria Basin, where Rwanda has been allocated 7.5 million euros, while the 5 countries that have interest in this basin have been allocated 42.4 million euros. Engineer Colette Ruhamya, the Deputy Executive Secretary of the EAC Lake Victoria Basin Commission, points out that there should be penalties for those who pollute water that can damage the rivers to the lake.
We need enforcement, of course, to talk to local governments at lower level because they are very close to the communities, to try and educate people, show the advantage of protecting the lakes and rivers. We have done, I think Rwanda has done a very good education systems where they have been even introducing some projects to educate people, and some projects to show how best they can be doing the irrigation, but at the same time they also benefit from fishing in those rivers, and they have good practice that they can share to show the benefits of protecting the water resources.
45 million people live in countries that have benefits on Lake Victoria Basin. The Akaja River, which originates from Nyabarongo and Akanyaru, flows into Lake Victoria, which gives Rwanda the opportunity to benefit from this lake. But also each country has obligations to maintain rivers that flow into this lake.